everybody to our webinars. So today we're going to be talking about how you can be secure while you scale with IBM ZOS Change Tracker. And just as a quick introduction, my name is Joshua Stiles. I am a senior solutions architect here at 21CS. And today we're going to be talking about uh, Change Tracker and why it's important to have it in your environment. And the first step of this is the skills gap, the impact it's having on the platform, right? We have a significant amount of new to Z people coming onto the platform, and within that time frame, there is a learning curve. It takes time for our new to Z folks to get up to speed on ZOS, on the platform, and feel comfortable doing that day-to-day work. So why is that important? Why is it important that we are bringing new to Z people to the platform? Well, a lot of enterprises and a lot of companies right now are reporting that a significant amount of their mainframe skilled employees are retiring. So that means a lot of the people, the seasoned veteran people that are employees that know what they're doing, they know how to run ZOS inside and out, they know what to avoid, they know what not to do, are leaving the platform and leaving that gap till the new to Z members of our platform can get up to speed. And why is that important? Well, studies have shown that more than 50% of human induced errors are actually configuration errors. So while those new to Z members are getting up to speed, they're going to make errors. It's going to happen. That's just the learning cycle, right? They're going to make configuration errors. They're going to learn from trial and error of what not to do and how to do things specifically to your environment and to your company. But, this is something that needs to be thought about right now because a lot of us are at different points within our new disease journey, right? We have some companies that they started to hire, they started to train, they started to invest in the new to Z folks. But there's also companies that are just starting that journey right now. So they need to start thinking about how are we going to protect our systems and protect our new to Z hires so that they can learn in an environment without making mistakes and make impactful mistakes to production environments and other places that might cause additional issues within the environment. So, what product out there can make sure that we lock down our most critical data sets? Make sure that if there is a configuration change or some change within a critical data set, that we're able to roll back properly and go back to something that did work. Well, that's where IBM ZOS Change Tracker comes into play. We really have that product that will protect, respond, and recover. We're covering three different areas. And this is all going to help with that skills gap. It's going to help protect your new to Z folks, make sure that they're not making mistakes where it could critically impact the environment, but also give a product that will bring those new to Z folks up on the platform and train them a lot sooner. So what does IBM's US Change Tracker do? Well, the first part of it is it protects, right? It's protecting those configuration assets, your critical files, maybe your parm lib, your proc lib, things like that that you don't want to make many changes to, or if you do make a change and it doesn't work, you need the ability to have some form of backup to it. So with Change Tracker, you're identifying, you're tracking, you're controlling hundreds of configuration files in real time. You can restrict library changes by checking out and checking in specific members and actually locking down a data set. And when we protect a data set, you have an automated member level backup that happens. And I'll talk about that in a second, why that's important with the recovery side of things. You're able to respond. So we are in a real time monitoring those protected and monitored data sets. It's able to have that audit log. It's able to show you who's making changes and what changes are being made to those specific data sets and all the way down to the member level. And then the recover functionality, right? Mistakes are going to happen. We all have made mistakes, even though I say I'm perfect. I've made mistakes in the past that have brought down systems. So you need to be able to recover to a point that has worked for you in the past. And with Change Tracker, it gives you the ability to immediately roll back to a member that was either the initial member when you protected the data set or a member -1 or -2. So you're able to recover all the way down to the member level so you can get back up and running quicker. So other than me just talking through this and what Change Tracker does, I'm going to show a quick demo on how you can utilize it and why it's important to have in your environment. So let me just switch over here. Okay, so as you can see, I am in the ZOSMF, and within IBM ZOS Change Tracker, we have a plugin for ZOSMF. It's a modern UI. It makes it very easy for any skill set to use the product. Whether you're new to Z, a seasoned professional, it makes it very easy for you to use. If you don't want to use the ZOSMF plugin, we do have ISPF panels that you could utilize in the background. So if you don't want to use ZOSMF, you have the capabilities to use ISPF. But today we're only going to be showing the ZOSMF plugin. So this is the plugin. I have a large list of monitored resources. As you can see, my coworker on the call, Chris, he has a couple of different data sets that he's protecting and monitoring right now. I can do a quick filter and only show my data sets that I have protected and monitored. But I actually want to start by adding a data set to my monitored resources list. So I'm going to go up and go to protect data set and type in my data set name. So this is the data set that I want to add to the monitored resource list. And I have the ability to specify a volume, but I also have the ability to specify whether I want to do email alerts. So you can get alerts on when the members inside that data set change. You're able to configure it so you do get email alerts for that. We have different attributes at the bottom here. So I can lock down the data set, and we'll talk about that in a second, what that means. But for now, I'm going to skip that. You have notify and quick mode with the backup settings. And this is going to be the most important step, right? You want to be able to take those member level backups. So you want to enable it and take the first initial member level backup copy. And then you'll have a archival policy. So you can choose between copies and days. So whatever you see fit as your environment, you can choose and say, I want to keep 6 copies of my members at a time, and it will only keep the initial plus 6 copies. So I'm going to protect my resource, and it will go and post that up in the right-hand corner. And then if I do a refresh on my monitored resource list, I can see that my Joshua S.demo dataset is now part of my monitored resource list. So anything that happens from, changes to the member, updates to any of the members, new members added are all being tracked by Change Tracker. If I click in, I can see all the members that reside within this specific data set. I can see the user who owns it, the date it was created, and the last changed. But I want to take a step back. I was mentioning that you can lock down certain data sets. And why is that important? Well, if you lock down one of your critical data sets, it forces members to have to check out and check in those members. And when I meant members before, I mean users, right? So if I wanted to add that additional layer of security, I can go to my modify protection and enable the lock attribute. And when I do that, it's going to show the attribute here as a lock here. So it's going to show me that my data set is now locked. So if I had any of my users, or if I wanted to make any change to the members inside this data set, I'm going to have to go through and check out that member and check it back in. So to show that functionality, I want to make a change to this specific job right here. So in order for that to happen, I need to go to my options and check out my member. I need to put the user ID that it's going to be checked out to. I'm just going to add a comment, demo webinar. All right. And now I'm going to check it out. Once the checkout is posted and is successful, I will refresh my member list here, and it's now going to show that that member is now checked out. So I am free with my user ID to make any change to that data set as I see fit. So if I go to the view member, it's going to show me the JCL inside of that member. I'm just going to make a quick modification here. Just going to change the number in my job card to 0. I'm going to save it. All right, so now I was able to make that change, and now I'm also going to submit this because it's going to do a little manipulation to my other monitor data set that I have under demo 2, and I'll show that in a second. But I was able to edit that data set and submit it. And now that I'm done with that change, I need to check back in that member because I have finished my change, and I'm just going to say demo complete. And now it's checked back in. So nobody can make any more modifications to that member that it's checked back in and is now locked. So if I do a refresh here, I can see that it's now checked out, is gone. So if we go to my demo 2 data set, I can see it only has 2 members here. And in the first member, I have a CYG UPD 1 member, and this is something that I updated with that last job that I had. So I'm going to go to the view audit log, and I can see that in my audit log, this data set was last changed like a minute ago. This is in Australia time, so it's almost tomorrow over there. I can see the system that it was changed on, and we can see what program and action was used to make the change. So now I have an audit log. I have a history of what is going on to each member. So you could share this with the rest of your organization. You can share this with your auditors or other people that require this information. Or if something were to change that did impact the systems, you can see who made that change and go and, have a talk with them, explain why the change didn't work or something like that. You at least understand who is making the change and what change they were making to it. All right, so I made a change. I want to see what that change looks like. So if I go to my Recover Backups tab, I can see my different backups. So I can see my initial backup and the current version. Well, there's this compare functionality, and I think this is a really strong feature of this product. I can compare my initial version or any backup to my current version of that member. So if I hit the compare function, it's going to show me on the left-hand side what my current member looks like and what changes were made to that data set from the initial version on the right side. So like, let's say if you have that configuration error or some change that did cause an issue, you can use this compare functionality to compare and see what change was actually made so you can remediate that, right? The idea is to get back up and running as quick as possible so you could theoretically go and make that change really quick and revert it back to its original state. Or you can go back and use our recover backup functionality and recover back to a -1, -2, -3 backup, depending on how many backups you have, or you can recover to the initial version. So if I hit recover backup, I have the ability to either recover into a new data set, another data set. So if you didn't want to write over that member that you have in the monitored data set right now, you have that ability. Or you can overwrite the member that's in this specific data set right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recover my backup. It's going to go out and recover this member to the original state. So if I go back to my member here and go to view member, I'll see the original state of the member as I took it with my initial backup. So it's very quick and easy to recover that backup of that member and bring it back to an original state or a -1 state, right? So you can get back up and running a lot quicker if there was an issue that caused something to happen with your environment. All right, so within the last functionality here, say I wanted to unmonitor a resource, it's very simple. I can select the data set and remove its protection, and it will no longer be on my monitored resource, and we will no longer be tracking any changes that happen at the member level. So if I were to cancel here and then do a refresh, I can see that my data set is now gone from the monitored resource list. So this is just to give you a general idea of how you can utilize this product to protect and back up your most critical data sets and the members that reside in it. There's a lot more functionality that comes with Change Tracker, but for this demo, we were just focusing on how you can utilize it to monitor those resources and to see who is making changes to those members at that time. So with that, I will switch back to my presentation here. So like I showed you with the demo, right, we're giving you that ability to protect against the inevitable internal errors with IBM's US Change Tracker, being able to protect, respond, and recover and have all of that done in real time.